Okay, good morning to everyone. Again, welcome to this online session initiated from RDRC, Resource Development and Research Center. This was a schedule for June month. Actually, we had a three important session up to last week. Today, we are starting with Indian wind conditions. Next week, we had the session for learn more about the power curves. It is very important for the people who are all working in wind energy sector. So I hope people will join in the next session although. Currently, I'm updating every meeting events in LinkedIn, also in YouTube channel and Google group also now we are sharing. So this information is now available to all of you to use it and share with your friends. If you want to get the regular update and you can just register here in the link where you will directly get the event update to your mail. So that is a plan as of now we have for the people to communicate. The today's session, I hope many of you know, it is one of very key factor in the renewable energy sector, especially in wind sector. So we will be learning more about how the Indian wind conditions, and that will be going to help us. I am R. Mahendran from Resource Development and Research Center and Independent Sustainable Development Analyst as a trainer and founder of RDRC. This initiative mainly started in this year for the public. Otherwise, I was doing this activity for the only in our local area, means in Theni, for the school and government school students and the teachers of government schools. Now, let us start with the session. An introduction to Indian wind conditions. Right side, you can see the wind map, which are available publicly now. Today's session, we will be going to see all this information. In this session, you can start. We will be sharing more about Indian wind condition and monsoon, how it is interrelated, and the trends for long term and 1 year trend, how it is in India, to understand and get some idea about how normally the trend is in India. Also, we will be seeing through the initiative from NIWE for the measurements and how historically we travel in, especially to develop wind map, wind atlas to India, and then the methodology what they are used to develop the wind potential available in India throughout India, also for onshore and offshore, and these maps also we will be seeing today. Then we have the state-wise data available for the potential details. Means potential means viable potential means you how much we can develop the wind projects, and then we can have the question and answer session and more ideas for future sessions, online sessions, where I collected these resources also I will be sharing to you. So this is today's schedule. People who have the question, just raise your hands option available in the your application itself. Then you can just type your questions. If on the time it's I can answer, otherwise we will end of the session during the QA session. I will be answering those questions. And let us start with monsoon. Many of us very well aware India is dominated by the Indian wind condition is dominated by two monsoons, very important monsoons. One is southwest and northeast. The red color arrow marks are showing the wind flow of the southwest monsoon, and the green darker green shows northeast flow. And this is the basic idea about how the monsoon is there. And the very important thing is the period of this monsoon also very important because it's directly linked to our wind directions and wind flow. Let us see how the wind is influenced by this monsoon. Southwest, mostly it start from June and extend till September. So you have June, July, August, September, 4 months of higher wind. This is what the wind is going to influence the total production from the Indian wind industry. So this wind is flowing from sea to land. So it's a strong wind, and you will be getting a lot of potential to harvest. So that is utilized by our wind industry, and we are very well have almost 4 months. And coming to northeast, it's a land to sea wind. It's October to December. When we see how this is during the long term trend, you will be understanding how this wind is going to influence our wind energy sector. You will get some idea. This is the map, National Institute of Wind Energy. Now they have this online map easily accessible. You can see each location, how you can get the data about it. We will be seeing that interactive map also, how it's working. It will be helpful for the people who want to find some locations and their wind conditions, anything if they want, they can see it. It is a very useful resource, and ESRI is doing all this work for in collaboration with the National Institute of Wind Energy. We should thank them, because earlier days I remember in the beginning stage, when I was started around 2002 and all, we used to have the handbook from CWET. Now it is NIWE. That data is used, and using topography map, we used to visit the site for identifying the site condition. Now this initial screening and all those things now available online. This is excellent work. We should appreciate Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and NIW for bringing us this kind of thing to us. Now we will see one important factor, the temperature, which is going to influence your airflow, means wind. Here I am just taking the example of Chennai city from Tamil Nadu. The left side one shows the wind temperature trend from 2010 to 20. Also, the right side you can see the 1 year trend. Now you just keep this image in mind from January to January, how it is. Same thing we will see with the wind condition. The wind also going to follow the same trend. So this is how it's keep flowing. Now we can see, like from even they said from June we are start getting the higher wind, means southwest monsoon is started, and we have many time it is true, but you can expect from the mid of May, the earlier of May, or at least second week of May, you will start getting the wind speeds, higher wind speeds from the southwest monsoon, and it can extend up to somewhat beginning of the November also, October also. So then coming to northeast, you can find the better, higher wind conditions available for us to harvest. This is the basic trend in India. Mostly Tamil Nadu has the advantage of having this 3 months, 4 plus, 3 plus, some more in January also. So this is one extra from the local effect what we are getting from the Tamil Nadu. So across the India, we have similar trend. Almost we can say this is a global trend for India. Southwest monsoon, which is June to September, and northeast October to December. This flow is we are having. This is influencing our total wind sector. Now we will see a little bit of the how the journey of National Wind Resource Assessment Program happened, and what NIWE done till today. The measurements as of now available for the various heights. As I said before, 2005, means between 2001 and 2, that time we have the data for 10 meter and 20 meter height of mast, which is installed at various locations across India. Those data are delivered as a handbook from the CWET, and initial stage from 1983 to 2001, National Wind Resource Assessment Program was carried out by FRU IITM Pune. Then from 2001, this was taken care by NIW. Earlier it was named as CWET. Now NIW is doing all the programs for wind resource assessment, both the onshore and offshore, in collaboration with multiple organizations. From 2005 or 10, we start getting the 50 meter height measurements. Their Indian Wind Atlas is delivered by NIW in collaboration with RISO, TDU Denmark in 2010, where we got the estimation for 80-meter hub height, means 80-meter height, what is the potential available in India. We will be seeing that WPD map. And in 2015, Indian wind potential map also given by CWET. Now it is NIW at 100-meter height. Now this report today, whatever we are going to see more in detail, like from the Indian winds potential atlas, it is delivered last year, end of last quarter of 2019 at 120-meter height. This is like a future for wind industry, how it is. We will be seeing all the parameters, how they are done, and what is the potential available state-wise. Everything we will be seeing in this session. That is a key area for us, just to know for the new people how we traveled from 83 to till now. And before 83, yeah, it is mostly from Indian Meteorological Department. The data are used. That data are used for all the wind related purpose also. But from 1983, a specific department is started for National Wind Resource Assessment programs. So this, in nutshell, how we are traveling in wind energy sector, especially for wind resource assessment, developing and mapping for whole India. This is one important progress for the renewable energy sector. So for deriving this 120-meter potential map for India, means wind power potential map for India, they followed some methodology. Step 1, there will be basic wind parameter derivation. Step 2, they started data set processing. 3, CEF map preparation. 4, they developed the areas which need to be excluded, and then they get the final installable wind power potential estimation. So each steps we will be seeing how and what are the things they are considered at least higher level, because each one is having, it's like a separate session. I will be just highlighting what are the key parameters they consider to develop each, or the what is the methodology followed in each steps. The first one, like to develop the basic wind parameters derivation, we used the 500-meter resolution layer for using the dynamic meso microcoupled multi-scale WRF modeling. In that, they also use the 10 years of 0.5 plus 0.5 lat long resolution for the reanalysis of the data for the initiation of the model. So then they develop the wind speed, WPD, and Whirlpool AK, air density, temperature, also giant frequency distribution. All those things are derived based on that. Then uncertainty estimations also done. Finally, I will be sharing the report information, so you can download and read more detail about that, how they done it. Now the second term, data set processing. Processing model output, wind parameter layers, it is very important step in this. Processing of NRSC land usage, land cover layers also consider for this step. SRTM with 1 arc resolution also used in this process. So in these steps, we are finalizing the data sets for further process. Based on the available data, then capacity utilization factors, map preparation works carried out. Here the frequency distribution, it's really a good one, because earlier I remember 2010 on map we have the resolution is very less. Now each 500-meter grid they created the wind Whirlpool AK parameters. This is going to give them more accuracy. And very important factor, they consider the 2 megawatt normalized power curves for the capacity utilization factor calculation. Here, one important and good thing is they are not just considering any turbine. They taken the turbines which are in operation in India. So it is more representative for CEF. You can take it as a basic guidelines to start listing the area to develop the wind farm and all. It's like a good starting point, I can say. In this calculation also, they done it for a 500-meter resolution. This means what you can say, half a kilometer resolution you have the data. It's like more closer results we can expect. That's what very important for us, because earlier days it was very much uncertain. I remember in 2002 we have the MetMast, which is at 10-meter height or 20-meter height. That data also 1 hour average data, but nowadays they have even two 2 seconds data average, and we have the data for 10 minutes average. So it is like a more accurate data. So it's very useful. Like the power curves used for this calculation also air density corrected. This means site specific. Like for that 500-meter resolution, it is corrected. Power curves are corrected as per IEC standards, and then they come to the P50 for CVF value with the standard corrections. Validation of the results with the GS layer using available actual measurement. So they not simply used to based on the data sets. They validated these results with the actual measurements whatever they have for the various locations. Cumulatively, up to now, our NIW have 877 masked data from their end. For this estimation, I think they used around 400 plus MetMast for validation purpose. This is a good number for getting the accurate results. For the area exclusion, many parameters are considered. Even you are estimated for total India, they excluded some of the lands based on the different conditions, like feasibility of developing wind farm in that area, and maybe some roads, railways, protected areas, airports, all are excluded. And the elevations, if they are more than 1500 meter, and the slope more than 20 degree, are also excluded. There are other conditions also there. These are all the main parameter they consider in this process for the exclusion area. Why we need to exclude? Because to provide the final WPD map or wind power potential map, which is feasible for the wind farm development at 120 meter height. That is very important. So they are excluding some area. Now, what are the zones they are considered for installable WPP estimation? Mainly, the zones considered for the capacity utilization factor, which are more than 25%. Because anything lesser than that, it is not going to be a financially viable project. So they consider anything which is more than 25% of CEF, that sites or that zones are considered for the installable WPP estimation area. So the total area grouped into 3 categories. One is like wasteland, another is cultivable land, another is forest land. So the weightage, appropriate weightage is also given for all the calculation. For the calculation, they used the 5D 7D microsighting. I hope many of you know the microsighting is placement of turbines. With the 5D means D is here diameter of your wind turbine rotor. So with the diameter, in row wise it is 5D, and column wise they kept 7D distances. Like this, this development is done. So based on these calculations, assumptions and methodology, they develop the installable WPP estimation. So whatever the results we are going to see for the 120 meter, based on this. Sorry, there is one question. 1 second for me. Let me see. 1 second. Vijay Mohan, yeah. Is it web-based interactive map or just a PDF? No. We have web-based interactive map available. Surely we will be seeing that. This session we will be going to cover. There is a report also available. That is for recent 120 meter height calculation. And we have the interactive map from CET website. We will be seeing that. Surely. Thank you for this question. So I think he joined a little bit later in this session, maybe. So that interactive map also we are going to see. Thank you for this question. It will be helpful for many other people also. So now the power curve. As I said, the power curves are normalized for 2 megawatt. They took 7 power curves. They are not mentioned in the report what are the power curves they took. But they took the 7 power curves which are the turbines operating in India as of now, and they normalize to 120 meter, means 2 megawatt. And for the calculation, the right side, whatever I mentioned, these are the assumption done. Hub height they consider as a 120 and rotor diameter as a 110 meter. And rated means 2 megawatt, they normalize to 2 megawatt. And grid availability, machine availability considered as a 95%. Transmission loss considered as a 3%. Array loss considered as a 10%. This is a basic idea they had for the calculation purpose. Whatever you are seeing here in the slide is a power curve available or considered for the calculations. Let us move to next important part, WPD map on onshore. I hope this calculation method is easy to understand. People who are working in, especially for wind resource assessment, easily can catch this methodology because it's a standard method we are following to estimate any wind resource availability in any particular site. The same methodology followed throughout the India. Now we see the WPD map as per the historical condition. This is the interactive map. I think we can go through the interactive map so that it will be useful for all of you. Let me take a few seconds to move to that slide. So where we can get the information, I took that also so that people can use at any time. Sometime our NI website is very slow. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to connect it. Okay. So now you can see the National Institute of Wind Energy website. If yes, please type yes in your message box so that I can get it. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So National Institute of Wind Energy, here we can see the important data. What we are going to see this interactive map is a third one, in wind power density map with wind monitoring station is the interactive map. Here is the link. Many important resources available here. You can check it out. Due to the time constraint, I am trying to cover as much as possible. But we have all the options available. So how to use this map? Just I try to explain to you. Many of you already, if you have the experience in wind energy sector, you might know. But for the new people, I think this will be helpful. Like legends. This is like 3 important layers. This is an Indian map. Based on that, they have the first layer is for the state layer. And then they have the 50 meter height WPD map. It is available. So next important thing is like the meteorological mast considered during this calculation purpose. It's available. Now this is totally interactive and it gives the live. It means you have the WPD data available for each location. You can get it directly from here. So how to do it? If you like to see any place, you have the maps available here. You can zoom in. Sorry, this for the measurement. So normally people will use it for. I move to the very potential sites like here. Just I am zooming in. You can see these layers are going maps, WPD map. Like you can see it. So here, yes, we have the informations, all the WPD maps. If you click any particular location, it will give the WPD range, wind power density range. So you can just zoom to that particular area. What is the WPD range you have? So if you want to develop wind farm in this area, based on that you can make decisions. This is one of the very important resource, I can say, because early days we don't have such resources. Whatever the place, you can just click it and see the what is the WPD range. Earlier it was not like that. You go to take the books and which location, geographic map you should have, topographic maps and handbooks delivered by the NIWE, means LSCVET. So all the handbooks, so manually you have to go and check and verify the WPD data and decide which area you can go for the sighting purpose, sighting screening itself. Now this is easy. In your desktop you can decide, okay, which area you want to visit for the next your site visit, for the inform development or initial site screening, anything you can do it at your desktop. This is really wonderful, and you have the even mass data also available. You can see the lat long details are available. What is the number, place, and oh, it is I'm clicking at same place, my district Theni. So from when it was in operation and when it is closed, the mast height, lat long details, then elevation of that location, what is the WPD extrapolated at various height, all the informations are available. So it is like ready-made data available for you for use it. I think I am seeing another information also from Madurai district, nearby area. Let us see something from Gujarat also. It's easy. The dotted things are, I will just let me hide the WPD map. This is mass locations, the dotted lines. So you can see the Kaitar. This is where our CWET's test sites also there. You can see the values here. Elevation 289, it is very close, and WPD values. Here you can get all the informations related to wind power density and the metmast location. You can see the metmast available in Maldives also. These are the all data, all meteorological stations data available with the National Institute of Wind Energy, which we can use it directly for initial screening and everything. So over this I am adding the layer. Here it is. I will be sharing this link so that people can use it for if they want to do it. Maybe after some time I'm just sending this to all now itself in the message. You can use it. Also we will be adding this in the video link, which you can use it. There are many options. If you want to do some study like measure from your location to another location, and lat long also available. You can get the lat long detail. For example, if you see the sites in one particular area, for example, and you want to, this is the CWET mast available. You want to visit any site, or you have the land in particular area, you can take that location and you can see whether any meteorological data is available with CWET or any operating mast. So that data you can use it, or you can buy it from CWET, and you can decide whether you can use it for you. This is like the easiest thing. Earlier this information is not available. Then you can, it is like a measuring from for example, I have the site in this location and I want to find the nearest mast to choose. It is at 49 kilometer away. This is also 44 kilometer. I can choose something like that. This will be very useful. And here it is, measurement results. These informations are useful. Please kindly use this. And if you have any direct requirement, you can contact NIWE for the data. They will provide you and guide you how to do it further. So this interactive map directly going to help you, one, for initial screening of the sites, and if you want to know whether wind masts are available, and if you want to have the WPD details, this is going to be a helpful information for you. It is really useful for everyone who is in the wind energy sector. Okay, now we go back to any questions in this. We can have it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to open that. It is asking the sign in whether the registration is mandatory for this.
No, not necessary. There is a version for signed in version. You have more facilities to download and all. But for common people, it is open. If you are getting any problem, I will share this link. There is a
No, the link you shared in the chat, right? That same link I'm using here, but
yes,
it's asking
not necessarily.
sign in or try access online. Okay.
Oh, oh, sorry. I don't know. It should not ask. It is directly open because I'm also open in front of you. I'm nothing like
Okay.
that.
No, it asking to me also
Oh,
when I tried to
it's
get it
surprising.
sign in. It asked public access and other two options.
Okay, then you can go to public access. For me, it is not asked anything. In front
Okay.
of you only, I'm opening. So you can otherwise you go to NIW map, which I sent to you now. That link
Yeah, that in the NIW, which tab I need to go?
and this third one, wind power density map with now the link I send you know list of wind monitoring station. So in that you have the wind power density map with wind monitoring stations. Can you see the same screen what I'm seeing now?
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
that. But
So in that third link, otherwise, if you found any difficulties, just in the right hand side, you are seeing the list of wind monitoring stations. Then click it. Or still you are find difficulty, go to department and wind solar like that. You can go to there and then you come to the list of wind monitoring station. That is also possible because the
okay.
designing of their site is little bit I also found difficulty because it is look like a link to the next page, but it's sometime within the page within the page, something like that. I don't know, something they done, but it is there. About
Okay.
another question on AK value with 500-meter resolution, I don't think so. They are providing this now in the open. Maybe the companies they have the special access. You can buy it and get that access. This is for 50-meter height, 120-meter height, and they just released the end of last year, last quarter of 2019. They released the report. That report is available, but AKV value and everything, I think we have to approach the department to get the data. Maybe for the WinForm development, that is basic. Maybe all the organization already have the access to it. Maybe the WinForm developers, but we go to check how it is. Yes, please, clear. So now it is accessible.
Now I can able to get it through
Yeah, yeah,
this. It is allowing, but
yeah.
probably if you go directly, it is not allowing.
Okay, maybe there, maybe some issues are there. I can see this website itself. Many time I face the issues. When I start opening early in the morning, it's not opening. Many time I face the issues. It's okay, fine. And also,
Okay.
whatever the access they are giving, very few sites are only secured to connection. Others are not. We go to write to the concerned departments. It is there with all government websites. Many of the places they done it, but the link they are giving to some informations are not secured. So let us see. Okay, this is one of the very beautiful tool, and many other informations available here in the National Institute of Wind Energy website. Whenever you get time, please visit. You will get a lot of useful information, really helpful. Maybe I will try to make different sessions based on the different information available. Let us come back to our presentation. I hope this interactive map helpful. Please share with people who are interested in wind industry sector so that they will be like feeling like they are already start working on the industry. So share such informations. It will be helpful. Next week we are having one important session on power curves. I found very much useful resources. It is like very surprising to me also. We will see in the next session about power curves. Let us come to our session. Like the range of WPD at 50-meter height, you can see the uh, here it is legends. For 200, above 200, most of the time we used to develop earlier days 200 to 300, 400. It's are very highly potential sites, but feasibility also very important. That time we don't have much turbines to operate in this area. I remember in Theni site also we have the gusty wind. Earlier we don't have class 1 or the turbines which can operate in that particular wind conditions. Then after installing mast, Maybe after 5-6 years, we had the turbines to operate in that wind conditions. Like that, there are a lot of stories behind this whole journey. Please, I welcome the people get into this means different sector of wind energy itself. You go to different department, you learn at least a few things. The industry is really, really very interesting place to work. And also you are directly, as I said, we are directly contributing to the sustainable development by working in renewable energy sector. So I really appreciate if you are part of wind energy sector or solar, anyway in the renewable energy sector. It's good. Any of your contribution, if it is going for sustainable development, really appreciable. So now this is a WPD map. I don't need to explain each thing because it is was interactive maps are available. You can go and check it out. Um, then we had the map for 850, the 80 meter. This one was developed in collaboration with RISO, Denmark, and NIWE, CWAT in 2010. And this what we seen just now. I was showing the wind map. This is a wind map. We have that wind map at 100 meter. Also, there is a factor. Differently, they consider now based on the utilization factor CUF. That is what nowadays they are keeping the data available. Another WPD map for 120 meter AGL. It is also available in the report. I will be sharing the report link end of the session, that you can read it out, around 70 plus pages. This is after unsuitable area exclusion. This is the map. Now you can see the difference. Earlier WPD maps are given at a different way. Now it is, you can see it at based on the CUF value they are giving. Earlier wind power potential, now it is earlier it was wind power density. Based on the wind power density means potential available to harvest. They stopped there. That means the machines are not going to play role during the development of the map. But now whatever they are delivered, it is like you are ready to go for the project. So it is like turbines also consider, and wind power potential maps are developed. This is like very much useful for the people who are entering to wind energy and they want to develop the wind farms. Really, really helpful. So I'm really feel happy because those days whatever we struggled, today we see this kind of things, really helpful. Now we move to offshore. In offshore, it is really again a very important area. In the beginning of this week or few days before, we are got a chance to attend one offshore related session from other organization, and it's a 1 hour session. It was really good, and we got a very good introduction to many area and challenges and what is the potential Asia has. In that, now we see India how it is, like 120 meter. Okay, one important point I supposed to say, you might be noticed somewhere we are seeing 100 meter AGL. Any of you know what is AGL? Any idea? AGL. Up to now, we might be seeing the 50 meter, 80 meter, and something like 100 meter. Everything we crossed. Any of you know? Any of you have idea? Please message me. That will be helpful. Or you can just say. Oh, somewhat close. Okay. Yeah, it is like, yeah, you are very close. Now, AGL, above ground level. Okay. So it is for the terrain, means onshore, whatever we are doing. For offshore, they are used some terminology, AMSL. Now you can try it out what it is. AMSL. So, this is good. Balaji, very good. Right. So it is above mean sea level. The data is used 120 meter height. You can see the offshore itself. It is not like only we are going to install the mast like in the ground. Means onshore. Offshore is working completely differently. I don't know how many of you attend. Maybe in our WhatsApp group, you might got the message on that day. I thank Visagan for sharing that information because I am not registered for that session. He shared to me. Then I just posted on our group. Um, that is about. I am checking it. Yeah, it's a realizing float wind in APAC Asia Pacific. That was the session. It was really very eye opener for Asia Pacific. That was also really interesting session. In that they explain the methodology, how they are doing it for the offshore wind speed measurement and all. Maybe in some of the session I will take only that measurement system, how it is working and everything. It will be helpful to you to understand. Like this is the potential available for wind speed map for our offshore. I think you can guess this is India. Okay, so you can see the wind potentials available. Like in the, as we said, the monsoon season, and for the southwest and northeast, how we can react the wind speed potential at different area in the offshore at 120 meter height. The same thing, this map is showing the wind power potential map at 120 meter. You can see here CF is in many places 25 to 30 available here in this area, 25 to 30. So it is very important. And we have the almost 30 to 35 and some places 45 to 50. Like developing wind farms in this area, it's very important. Now we move to next important parameters, like how the estimated potential is. In India, as of now, using the 5D70 configuration, we had 695 gigawatt of potential available for the wind farm development. Means it is ready for the development. Some of the other factors also need to be considered during the development, but based on all the assumption, excluding the wasteland, all those things are excluding the non-developable area, all those things you can see. After excluding all this, 695 gigawatt is available at 120 meter above ground level. So in that, we have to notice very importantly, wasteland we have 340 gigawatt. I think it is very interesting to me. We have to see how much wasteland is available. 340 gigawatts we can develop at 5D70. It is very huge land. Especially they keep it for 2 megawatt turbine, and they say it as 120 meter hub height and 110 meter. Then 5D means you can imagine how much land we have for development of a wind farm. And 347 gigawatt is for cultivable land, 8 gigawatt for forest land is available. So totally 695 gigawatt of estimated potential available as of now in India based on the latest report. The very key factor in this, we have 57 gigawatt of at CEF above 35%. That is one of the beautiful sign for development. And 132 gigawatt is above 32%. So really it is really interesting. So the bigger turbines now, whatever available in the industry, it is going to give a good sign for India. Maybe more investors, IPPs, they are going to be very much interested in developing these projects. What I see by seeing this data, it is only the bigger projects going to play a very important role in the development. This is a table available for each state wise, what is the potential available at different CEF factor. You can see 25 to 28%, 28 to, I'm just reading, I don't know whether you can see my cursor. Just I'm taking this one. Oh, sorry, what happened? Is something went wrong? I don't know what happened. So here it is, sorry for that. 25 to 28% megawatt. You can see it is almost 3 you can see 3,40,574 megawatt is available for this case. Totally, as we see, 695 gigawatt is available. So each very interesting factor after seeing this 120 meter. Earlier it was something different picture for me. I remember, if you get time, you also just go and check it out. 50-meter height, what is the potential estimation, and 80-meter you see, but for 120-meter you can see some of the states which were earlier not in the picture. Now it is become a very important states to develop. So if you can compare 80-meter, what is the potential, now 120-meter, if you compare, it is completely different picture. Please look those data available in our website of NIWE. You will get more idea about this. Now resources, already I shown where I took the informations. Anyway, this is how it flows. For all the resources, I just take government of India, what is the plan and they have, then come to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, what is the future plan they have, how they are doing it and everything. Then for wind energy, always I come to NIWE, National Institute of Wind Energy. Then for wind resource assessment and solar resource measurement and all those, then we go to check the WSOM department data, from where you can get all the informations available. So website link already I shared to you. This is how resource flows are going for all activities. Initially the plan from the government and how the ministry is doing for that, and what is the each institutions are authorized body within the department, are the nodal agencies who are all operating for that particular implementation of particular policies or plans. I took that particular department website. From there, we are taking particular activities or projects and everything. Those informations are now available for you to share and discuss. Now, I personally thank for keeping all this information open and transparent to all the people. This is going to help you. And then this is the report which I referred for most of the cases, especially for 120 meter estimation, India wind potential atlas estimation, which you can get it from NIWE website itself. Just this is the PDF name. I will try to get the link. Let me see whether I have the copy of it. Yes, it is there. So I will send you now itself, so that somebody left, I think. I don't know. People are so hurry. I will share this. How you can use it. This report you can download directly and use it. Anyway, people who are in the group going to get these links. Are they in the, after converting this into a video also, you can see these links available. You can use it. Okay. Now, any further questions and any ideas for the sustainable development, please feel free to share. We have a few more minutes to discuss. It will be very helpful. Regarding the sessions, I will be keep planning for every month, and at least 4 or 5 days before the new month start, I will be releasing the schedule for the next month, so that you can use it. If you have any specific question from this session, please feel free to ask. Any questions? You can message me also. Otherwise, then you can just give me the feedback of how was the session, and it will be helpful. If any other point I need to add, or we need to include in such sessions or future sessions, something like that, you can give the feedback. That will be helpful. Sujit, this is very nice question. As I said, I just gone through the information. It is EEZ means exclusive economic zone. According to this, each country have the special rights regarding the exploration and use of marine and resources available in their country, especially for the energy production from water and wind. This is what taken into consideration during the wind potential power calculation for India. Thank you for this question. I included the link which I referred in Wikipedia in the description section. Can you also add me in the WhatsApp group? Yes, yes. Who is this? Vijay Mohan. Oh, this is my number. Okay. Sorry. 28556. Yes. People can join here. And very important information, we have the LinkedIn group. Means I personally thank you all of you for being part of it. We have many platforms available, especially LinkedIn group. We are creating all, not a group, it is like a page. You have all the events created. You can get all the information available. Do we have any policies for it? Yeah, we have the policies details available that we can take it up. It is draft offshore policy published in 2015. Yeah, right. So up to now, we last week, I think I remember we were talking about wind turbine, Indian wind turbine certification schemes, all the things we discussed. In that, all the relevant informations are shared. Maybe I try to make it as a video presentation and share to you. In previous weeks, I forgot to record the sessions. Means we are not worried about such thing. But now people start asking, okay, after the session, share the video and all. Then I start, okay, we will start recording these sessions. So WhatsApp number is available 944552856. Also, you can just follow us in the or LinkedIn. Most of you already in the LinkedIn, so please kindly join there. And all the details, monthly schedules already updated there. Apart from this, RDRC have separate YouTube channel where all the resources related to renewable energy sector. I'm start keep updating this. Currently, new YouTube channel also started for RDRC for FOSS, means free open source softwares. It's mainly focusing on the resources available, especially in the software area. What are the resources we can use it as a professional for our work or any other personal development or any other new developments. This is available. Yeah, we have the reports, sir. I think Kudiyarasu and it's better. Can I take 1 minute to share that information also? Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. 1 minute. We have the informations. General offshore wind energy portal itself available. Here you can see the NIWE presentation and EBD energy petrochemical department Gujarat presentation available. This one is the first offshore wind project of India. But if you click, there is a problem in this link. I don't know. We got right to NIWE. I was checking because I want to share this link to you guys. But you can check here what is progressing. Surely it will be useful. The website is actually some problem. I don't know why it is. First offshore wind project in India. I tried warning it is a potentially risk. So I've not visited this.
Maybe this HTTPS.
Yeah, it is there already. HTTPS is there, but still my browser is saying it is potentially security risk is there. I don't know. Connection is not secure. That is what I am seeing. So I just leave it as it is. Maybe through another browser, if I open, might be it is opening. Let me see what is happening with other browser. But this kind of site should be secured. That's what I am feeling. Why they are giving it is already HTTPS only, but still it is showing like this. I don't know. Maybe let me try with any other browser. So this is the place you can get the informations. For me, I'm personally thank you for all of you to joining this session. Just we can Google it and find it. The link is already there, but for me it is showing some problem. Means security issue. But if I use other browser, maybe it is working. So kindly visit. More informations are there, and feel free to share your ideas anytime through my WhatsApp number. We can try to include those sessions in the consecutive weeks, and that will be helpful to other people. If any of you interested to present any particular information which you think useful for the people who are working in renewable energy sector, just feel free to contact me. and then I will send you the link for presenter registration, that we can use it and we can present here. And this is the initial stage, and soon we will be having more people to participate, and you can also help me to sharing the information. So for your information, I'm just sharing the next
Probably,
meeting.
yeah, probably that certificate for that site was expired. That is the reason.
Maybe that is the reason. Okay.
Yeah, that is the reason it is throwing my
Yeah.
thinking. Okay.
Yes. Next week we have the session on PowerCore. Learn more about the PowerCores. Might be this is very much helpful for all the people. I'm sending this. Also, you can use the Resource Development and Research Center page and send to the people who are interested in this sector. Very soon I will start adding the free open source software related informations also, and soon many plans are there. With all your support, and we can reach more people so that everyone get benefited. As I said, now onwards we will be recording the session, so sessions also available in YouTube channel. I will be sharing in the our group or in the event page itself. I will post the recording so that it will be helpful to all. Thank you everyone for joining the session. I will try to put my positive effort to bring the useful information to all of you. And ultimately, we are doing this all activities for the sustainable development of individuals and for the society. I just want to mention one important point. All these activities initiated to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which also called as global goals. People who are interested to know more about it, just message me. I will give the informations. Or you can just Google it like global goals or UN SDG. You will get it. Ultimately, we should not leave anyone behind. So let us walk together and contribute to the sustainable development of the world. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. This session was really useful for us, and since we have been working in the wind industry, we supposed to know so many things. That is the interest which is pushing us to attend this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I request, if possible, any of your students, maybe final year students, they will be like, if more people, such people are participating, it will be useful for them also.
Yeah.
Any of your
Yeah.
relatives or somebody is there, and we can share to them also. It will be useful because it is like the right time for them. Industry also need lot of people, I think. So young people can bring lot of changes to the industry. So I think I also need to make some strategy to reach more people so that it will be helpful. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for
Thank you.
continuously
Thank you.
supporting and joining the session. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I officially close the session now. All the best to everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Na.
Thank you. Amit.
Just
Thank you.
checked all the links which you shared.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
So please use it. It will be really helpful in many ways.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Tamil. Thank you. Mr. Ram Kumar. Okay. Many people. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.